Good evening, all you wonderful folks out there, and welcome back to another race here at SRA. Tonight we are, of course, in the last week, the final race here of Season 8, and we're looking to crown a champion, or rather, we're really looking to crown potentially 4 champions tonight. I'm joined, as always, with my favorite man, Josh Damiani. How you feeling, Josh?
Not too bad, not too bad. Besides the little quick depart and return there by accident, made a misclick in the Discord. But we're excited to watch the season finale here, even though the overall champion is, I guess you could say, decided, wrapped up, or sorted.
Yeah, I think you're right. We were doing a little research before the race tonight, and it looks like, mathematically speaking, the D1 Gold champion has already been decided. I don't think anybody has the ability to catch up to Ed Kerstetter.
Yeah, the closest driver, Ryan Yee, mathematically can get as close as 7 points, I think we came down to.
Yep,
But that
7
is
points.
about it.
Still, there's still a lot to race for tonight. The team championship is still up for grabs, as is the silver championship. So we will be keeping our eyes peeled on that. Of course, tonight we're going to be racing in Watkins, Glen, upstate New York, United States. This is my favorite track in the game. How about you, Josh?
It's not my favorite, but it's definitely a lot of fun once you get used to the track. Like when it first got added, it was for me who had never driven the track before at all, a bit of a handful. But now that I've learned it, it's a lot of fun to race on this track. There's no point where you're really going slow. It's just constantly carrying as much speed as you can. There's lots of room, and the flow is nice.
Yep, it's one of those tracks, I think, at least in my opinion, the tracks that are always fast and the tracks that are always slow, the ones that are, on one side or the other of those extremes, are the hardest to learn, or at least they take the most time to get used to. And this one's definitely no different. It's probably the most challenging the most challenging track I've had to try to conquer this season so far. And it's going to be interesting to see how these D1 drivers conquer that as well.
I agree with the mix of the surface that the track brings, as well as the conditions we're racing in, with it being a night race this week. Uh, it it's a fun combination, we'll say.
Indeed. Of course, the points to watch for in terms of overtaking are going to be the first corner, as always, right? And then after the first corner, you've got the S's, or, that uphill right turn, and then left turn, and then another right turn. It's very high speed, and it's pretty much a straight, leads down into the bus stop chicane, which is where probably the most action will be occurring tonight. Other than that, turn 6 gets a lot of action, as does turn 7 get a little bit of action. Turn 8 gets also a little bit of action, probably a little more than turn 7 does.
I'd say turn 8 is probably the last realistic opportunity to make an overtake on this lap. 9, 10, 11 are really tight, and with
Yep.
11 being the pit entry area, which is going to be heavily enforced this week, starting before the corner. It's not really somewhere you want to be banking on trying to overtake somebody.
You are exactly right. And, of course, we'll spend a little time looking at the standings again this week, being that it is the last week and there's a lot to race for. One thing that, of course, we mentioned there isn't to race for is the D1 Championship, but we'll get to that in a moment. Looking at the team series, you can see that TSE Drive Audi Vroom of Jeremy Mercer and Peter O'Brien are going to be looking to clinch their team championship victory tonight. And they're in a pretty decent place to do it, especially being in those Audis, which are going to be very quick around this track tonight.
Yeah, TSE has both the first and second spots locked up between their Audis and Mercedes drivers. And with the drivers that are on hand there, it's pretty locked up between those two. But do you think that Dylan and Ryan can bring the fight to the Audis, even though those Audis are going to have that bit of a pace advantage here?
I do. I think Ryan Yee will be fighting Peter and Jeremy for position. I think Dylan won't be too far behind, especially if he's come to play knowing what stands tonight. But when all is said and done, I think with the 74-point gap, Drive Merc Vroom is going to be looking for the Audis to, or at least maybe one of the Audis to make a mistake that they can capitalize on to get a chance at taking that first spot. Of course, additional shout out to Alpha Simsport, Timothy Flomger and Austin Carpenter, running up in third place and looking to clinch that spot. Of course, we've got the driver standings, right? Ed Kerstetter, as we mentioned, in the lead. He's up by 61 points. And when you factor in their drop races, I believe his is only like a 57-point drop. So if he even gets a 0 tonight, I think mathematically that Ryan Yee will not be able to catch up.
Yeah, and it seems that Ed is taking a 0 tonight, as we're currently a couple minutes into silver qualifying, and Ed is still not present for the race. So I think he's just
Taking
dangling it in front of Ryan and taking the breather tonight.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Mercer holding on to P3 right now. Timothy Flomger right behind him, only 12 points back. Realistically, P3 is going to be the fight tonight.
Yep.
It's a 49-point gap to Ryan Yee, if my quick math is correct.
Yep.
And Ryan's just been on some impeccable form this season, so I think that's kind of a tough gap to overcome, but Jeremy's going to have a good fight between the Alpha Sim Sport driver behind him, who's, like we covered, trying to work on that team championship as well.
Mm-hmm. And then there is the Silver Championship up for grabs tonight. Mert Michi is, of course, leading that. He's leading that by 36 points. Dan Cran, followed by Dan Good. Those Dans are going to be chomping at the bit for a chance to take that P1 spot from Mert. And if they finish, like, what is it, 6 points, or 6 positions ahead of him, or maybe it's about 9 positions ahead of him, then one of them could potentially take it. With that, let's get on track as the Silvers have begun.
Silvers are halfway through their qualifying. And Travis Robinson is holding on to the lead right now by 1.5 tenths with a 44.052 on the board. Lamborghinis seem to be having a decent amount of pace this week, but do they have the best pace as they've been showing all season?
I think they're going to be very quick, but my money's on the Audis tonight. But I've been wrong before, many times. Victor Diaz currently does not have a time set, and as he goes through and rounds out Sector 3, it's looking good so far for him.
Danny Durant pushes himself up to the top, says Audis are here to party. 4 tenths clear with a 43.665, our first 43 of the night.
Gosh, I wish I had pace like that.
It's almost a second clear of what I was doing earlier.
Yeah, and you're about a second clear of what I was doing earlier. So.
Nah, give yourself some credit. That's not fair.
It's a tough track for me. I love it, but it's a cruel mistress. Victor Diaz puts his time down, and it's good enough for P10 at the moment. He's only 7 tenths off of Durant's at P1. Let's give a little love to Nate. He goes super wide there. I don't know if that was within track limits or not. Doesn't look like it was. No, it definitely wasn't. We'll come back to him. John Sparks is lighting up the Delta with a promising little number that I will not spoil until he crosses the line. Looking good with one
finding
corner
some
left.
time.
Oh yeah. Comes out of the final corner, loses a little bit, but I think it's still going to be enough to go ahead and put him on top. And it does.
Dan Curran finds the purple sector 2. It takes what was P5 and now P6 with a 44.040. A lot of fours.
Nice time from Dan. One position ahead of Mert Michi currently. It's going to be who he's looking to beat by a solid margin tonight, so I'll be keeping my eye on that. You know, with this quali, it being 8 p.m., you can still see a little bit, even though you still definitely need your lights. That's going to change a little bit once the race begins and it gets even darker. Interested to see how well we're going to be able to see these cars.
It'll be surprisingly well.
Oh, Mert Michi knows exactly what's at stake. Crosses the line with a really nice lap that puts him into P3 and then drops him down to P4 as Travis Robinson follows him up with a great lap. But then, as I speak, Dan Cram, the challenger, bests Mert Michi's lap by about, what is that, 700ths?
Nate Specht almost brings himself up to the top, drops 2.5 tenths in the last 2 corners. Just making a little bit of mistakes, maybe pushing the tires just to their crest and not having enough grip left in those last couple corners.
Yeah, but you know what? With this being the last lap these drivers are going to be putting down, all he knows, all he has to do is just match what his PB was for most of the lap, and then at the end, if he can improve on that final corner, which I'm sure he can, well, goes into the grass, and ouch.
Bye-bye.
It was a good shot, and I think he'd be happy to know that there aren't many drivers improving. Looks like
Dan
maybe
did up quite a bit on his Delta right now, but other than that, yeah, everyone seems to be in the red.
right.
Victor Diaz finding a little bit of time now. Maybe recovering from a mistake in a previous lap. Sam Reck jumps himself up to P8.
Nice drive by him. We are below 10 minutes, so as these drivers cross the line, it'll be their final time doing so.
Yeah, Brandon Chan seems to be our back marker at the end of the silver train.
Yeah, but he's got a lap to potentially change that.
I mean that as much as he is the last in the standing in silver, I meant as in he is the last silver driver left to set a lap.
Okay. I was gonna say, man, brutal. We're brutal out here.
I'm not that mean. And then Mr. Sir in the picture-in-picture is the leading gold driver, and you can just see Brandon in the front of the picture on a couple of these angles. They're almost pushing him along as he pulls off to the side and I guess gives up on his lap. Maybe ran out of fuel or was not
he-
satisfied with his delta.
He must have ran out of fuel because he had a delta that could have moved him up like 3 or 4 spots. Anyways.
Patches with an absolute gem of a joke in the chat.
Oh
Nate
boy.
wrecked. He certainly did.
Don't tell him. I won't tell him you said that.
Top-notch joke right there.
All the curses are here except for Ed Curstetter. Michi very well might be in a Dan sandwich for this race. Dan Good's a little bit far back, so I don't really think he's going to be in an excellent position to challenge Michi. But Michi is just below Dan Cran, and depending on how their racing turns out and whether Dan Cran can put a good strategy together and put a move on Michi, might lead to a different outcome on those standings. Mr. Sir is leading the gold drivers out at the moment with 2 corners to go.
$33-1.
Goes up to P5 on his first lap. That's a really good lap from him. And then Jeremy Mercer. Jeremy Mercer comes out. Lap 1, puts it on provisional pole with a 43.4.
Mr. Sir actually matching Travis Robinson to the 1,000th.
Very nice. But Travis gets the spot for the moment since he put it down first. Homer Wilson crosses. It's good enough for P11 at the moment. It's about 5/10 off pole. Bosley Majid with a yellow flag. It looks like he got spun around at turn 1. So it's going to be... It's going to cost him 2 laps, essentially. Maybe not quite 2, actually. Just 1.
Ed Kerstetter has arrived.
He's here.
P15.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The man who has, I want to say all but I think he just has championship in the bag at this point. Woohoo! Jeremy Mercer, currently holding the top spot, is about to cross the line.
Loses the top spot.
Yeah, loses it just to take it right back. Ryan Yee had it for a moment. Peter O'Brien following them up in third, but Jeremy Mercer takes the spot back by 0.05.
Gomer Wilson says, I'm just gonna sit myself right in between you two. And pops himself in P2.
Yeah. Look at all those Audis. By the way, for the Silvers, neither of us got the car right. It was a Ferrari.
Well, not the first time this week a Ferrari's put it in P1. Shout out Carlos Sainz.
See what the view of these drivers are kind of like.
Dark.
Yeah, very dark. There's a lot to miss on this track too. A lot of stuff I want to see that I can't. One thing I can see, Gomer Wilson's halfway through a pretty dang quick lap.
Peter O'Brien also trying to bring himself closer to the top. Improving his delta.
Very close to the wall. Crosses the line and takes the top spot away from Mercer for the time being. Very nice lap from him.
Matt Lehman stuck down in P26 right now. Was up 7/10 on his lap time and just invalidated in the last couple. Gonna push him to make the most of these last two.
Yep. Reigning champion showing up to show us all that number one on the side of his car. And man, it looks good on that McLaren. Tonight just might be the last night that he gets to don that number. Probably partially because he was only here for half the season.
I mean, that doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Mr. Sir crosses the line, puts in a really nice time into P4 and only about a 10th off pole. It's making that McLaren look dang fast. Ryan Yee still 700ths off of pole position as he starts his final lap. Mr. Sir goes yellow, so it looks like his 43.4 will be his last lap. And his best lap. Gomer Wilson goes yellow as he is done with his final lap. Won't improve. I'll tell you, Ryan Yee has about an even delta now as he comes to the second to final corner. Needs about 7/10. If he nails this final corner, really gets on the gas, he might have a chance. Not today. Crosses the line, stays in third. Jeremy Mercer, though, crosses the line, goes up 2/10 and takes the spot away from Gomer Wilson. Beats him by 2/10 right at the end. I did not expect that.
All in the last lap there. I wonder if he got a little bit of a tow.
He was right behind Ryan Yee for those final corners. Maybe 2 seconds behind, so must have helped. Ed Kerstetter, one of the final people doing a lap. Pretty much even delta. Let's see if he'll improve. Gotta hand it to him. He probably knew dang well he had the championship in the bag. Didn't have to show up tonight to even take, you know, any extra points. But still, with all these D1 guys, quick enough for P12.
Very close split qualifying there. It was really tight from the top two or top three, and then Mercer just came in and leapfrogged everybody by 2/10.
Yep.
I thought everybody was out of steam.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. Gosh, Peter O'Brien's livery looks great.
What we can see of it, yes.
What we can see of it. Not as great as that AMG that it absolutely mystifies and confuses me every time I see it. Also, this is the first time I'm seeing under his wing it says keep pushing.
Interesting. Encouraging
Nice
his
touch.
enemies.
Yeah, nice touch. I like it. Back of the Audi. Nothing to write home about, eh?
It's white. It's got lights. That's cool. The picture-in-picture has gone gray.
Fix it up. Oh, cricket noise.
Hello?
Hello, Josh.
Why is it?
It's I can see it now. I have a little loading bar that is a little pesky, but we'll work with what we got. These drivers are going to be hit and drive, and here in about 25 seconds, they're going to be on their outlap. Once again, a little recap. The Audis of, I believe it's O'Brien and Mercer, currently leading the team championship. The drivers looking to challenge them are Ryan Yee, who's currently sitting in third, and Dylan Stallworth, who's currently sitting in P13. So as we kind of predicted in the beginning of the cast, they're going to be hoping that one of those Audis makes a fatal mistake. Enough of one that they can overtake them in the championship, as they are, I believe, about 40 points behind, or was it 60?
I do not remember.
A little bit spicier, though, in the Silver Championship, a little refresher. We've got Dan Cran, who now has 3 gold drivers sandwiched in between him and Michi to separate them. I didn't do the exact math, but I think in order for Dan Cran to challenge and win the Silver Championship, I believe he'll need to beat Mert by give or take 7 or 8 positions. He's currently 4 positions ahead of him. So he's got a chance. He's got a chance. All you good folks in the audience who I'm sure are looking for a championship fight to happen, Dan Cran is knocking on that door.
A battle of ifs and buts.
Do you remember what the fight for P3 was in gold?
The fight P3 in gold. is Jeremy Mercer, Timothy Flomger, who did not have himself a very good qualifying. He was all the way down in P14.
Yeah.
And Travis Nordstrom is the next closest.
Well, Nordstrom and Flomger are both not in the top 10 at the moment, while Jeremy Mercer leading the race from pole.
Is it possible we see Jeremy overtake Ryan Yee in the championship?
I think Ryan Yee needs about 60 points tonight to completely mathematically clinch P2.
Well, let's hope he does not go bowling at the Glen.
Very true. Let's not have any bowling tonight. It's going to be amazing out there, despite the poor visibility. It's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to have fun. Everybody's going to be walking away from this race with big smiles on their faces. The driver's now approaching the point where they'll line up side by side. There you have it. Drivers zoom on down to get lined up for the pit straight, the main straight. With one corner to go, we'll go to our eye in the sky so we can get a good look at all the action. As Gomer Wilson and Jeremy Mercer are surely going to be going at it as they cross the line into turn one.
For the final time this season.
Say it, Josh. Here we go indeed. The green light goes. Jeremy Mercer gets a good start and looks to be leading into the first corner, but doesn't outbrake Wilson. Wilson keeps it on the inside and stays just about alongside now into turn two. Are they going to challenge each other here?
Too wide up the hill is going to leave them vulnerable to the cars behind.
Very vulnerable indeed.
A great run.
Ryan Yee, but Mr. Sir slotting himself up into P2 for the time being. Ryan Yee sitting in P4 actually loses a spot to Mr. Sir.
Peter O'Brien having to check up there, and we've got an accident at the bus stop. Ed Kerstetter and Dylan Stallworth.
Deland Stallworth goes right back to the pits. It must have been bad.
Pit window is open.
Kerstetter still running. He's about 4 seconds behind the rest of the pack. And man, oh man. Dude, if the championship fight was closer, we'd have something to talk about right now, huh?
We definitely would. To see Kerstetter stopped in the bus stop on the first lap is not a good sign. Dylan Stallworth teleporting back to the pits. Ed electing to continue. But
with
yeah,
Dylan,
that would have massive implications.
Oh yeah.
Austin Carpenter and Brady Daniel in the picture-in-picture there, just going wheel to wheel for like 4 or 5 quarters straight before Austin finally takes the position. What a fight.
That's what we like to see. Well, with Dylan out of the race, we're now going to be looking at a very probably clinched Team Series Championship.
Flamger comes together with Travis Robinson in turn 1.
Starts doing donuts in time.
Gets himself spun back around, but he's dropped himself all the way back down to P25. Lost all the ground he's made up at the start here.
That's an incredibly rough start. But yeah, the Drive Audi Vroom team from TSE has... Oh my gosh, I keep getting cut off by these accidents.
Yeah, there's just everything's popping off. The midfield, the backfield, everybody is still racing.
Oh yeah.
So
let's keep our eyes on Mr. Sir as he stays 3/10 behind Mercer. Gomer Wilson just behind him. Ryan Yee just behind him, and Peter O'Brien just behind him. Sam Reck. Able to get back on track. Matt Lehman takes a spot from Dan Good. Slots in front of him. Finds quite a big gap in front of Matt to try to cover. Clean air probably looks great to him.
Gomer Wilson and Ryan Yee into the pits. A lot of drivers electing to this early pit stop.
I don't blame them one bit. Wilson and Yee will be the ones to watch to see if that undercut pays off against the other guys up in front, Mr. Sir and Jeremy Mercer.
Got a driver request from Mert Meiji. He's in the pits right now. We'll pick up with him when he comes out.
Mr. Sir running about half a second behind Jeremy Mercer. Looking to fight him for the lead. Peter O'Brien, in the meantime, has fallen back off of Mr. Sir just a little bit. There was a lot of talks before this race that the McLaren was pretty underpowered here at this track. But I gotta hand it to Mr. Sir. He's trying to silence those talks, eh?
He certainly is. The McLaren in the hands of a good driver is a good car. It's just one of those vehicles like the Audi that just takes a certain amount of skill to really wring out the lap times that you can get from it.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently 3.5 seconds off of Dan Grant. Both of those drivers have pit. They're the lead of those pit. So within striking range, Dan's got a good bit of work to do if he wants to try and take this championship.
Should I go ahead and follow Michi, or is that him in the picture-in-picture?
That was him in the picture-in-picture, but we're on board with Michael Menning while he chases down Victor Diaz.
Chasing him down he is. Right on the bumper. Getting some hype in the chat from Paulie, Mr. Hartman himself.
Driver 48, well known around the league.
Sam Rex in the pits, probably repairing some damage, I would assume.
Teleported to the pits after spinning again.
Rough race for him out here tonight.
Yeah.
Now, as Mr. Sir has fallen about a second behind Mercer now, struggling to keep up just a little bit as he went wide, I believe, at turn 1 and invalidated. Will he drive back up to Mercer's rear bumper?
I think at this point it's just about staying close enough to get a little bit of toe on the straights and stay far enough from O'Brien that you're not giving it to him. But Michael Menning in the picture-in-picture is looking to go wheel-to-wheel with Victor Diaz into the bus stop. And they're going to go side-by-side. He's going to take the inside line. And he's going to take the position by the time they make it to the exit. And now Victor's going to be under fire from Brandon Chan, Mercedes behind. That bus stop's a very popular place to go for moves, even though it's very dangerous.
Now checking in with the leaders of the Silver Championship. Mert Michi currently about 3.7 seconds behind Dan Cran. I'm gonna guess the number's about 8 to 10 seconds, maybe 8 to 12 seconds is the gap that Dan Cran is gonna want to see between them in order to be comfortable or feel like he'll be able to overtake him in the championship. And at the moment, that being about a 4-second gap, as he is putting down slightly better times. Isn't there, but we'll see. Here we have Travis Robinson on the back of Jeff Spangler. Spangler also making the McLaren look fast tonight.
Currently making it look wide.
Very nice car placement into the bus stop there. Just behind Travis Robinson is Fazli Majid. Also lapping really quick in that Lamborghini. Peter O'Brien currently has the fastest lap in the race with a 44.237. His fastest lap is about 0.3 faster than Jeremy Mercer's, 0.5 faster than Mr. Sir's,
but only 0.2 faster than Ryan Yee.
Exactly.
P17. He's coming up on the back of Dan Cran now, and I think part of his fight tonight is going to be how fast he can clear Dan.
Just realizing how powerful of a pit stop Dan Cran must have had to come out in front of Ryan Yee.
Hey, it was actually stopped for 1 second less and spent a total of 3 seconds less in the pit stop.
Yeah, that's wild. He nailed it.
Michael Manning, Victor Diaz going wheel to wheel up the hill now. Manning going to have the inside line for the last corner onto the straight. It's going to give him a bit of an advantage. But will Diaz challenge with the toe? He's going to keep it safe.
I have a feeling we might see a pair of Mercedes duke it out here. Ryan Yee, by the way, just took that fastest lap that we were speaking of, currently a 44.1.
Yeah, now just 0.3 off the back of Dan Cran. Brooker Quigg looks to the outside at the bus stop. He's going to file back behind. Not enough of a run to make a move there. Pretty ambitious to try and go for it around the outside.
I don't want to make a move there at all.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, man. You got to be confident, but it's not that bad.
Majid and Robinson actually both got past Spangler. Now leading him. Nate Specht, another McLaren driver, approaching Spangler. Gonna look to challenge him, I presume.
Danny Durant's looking like he's becoming a cork in the bottle. Really disturbing the flow of the cars behind. Fasley has a big moment there. Jeff Spangler's now back in the mix.
Nate Specht goes into the pits as Matt Lehman passes him up. We'll get a good view through this scary, flat-out uphill, windy sector as Robinson gets very close to Durant. Close enough to make a move, I think, but thinks better of it. Breaks a little early and decides to just follow safely. He definitely wants to challenge him here.
Speaking of challenge, Menning challenging Carpenter going around the outside at turn 7. Gets a little bit out of shape on the exit, that's going to compromise his speed down the straight. So wasn't able to hold the move, but he's right back on the rear bumper for the hairpin.
If he stays close through here, he just might have a chance on the inside. Doesn't take it.
Good drive out of the last corner, but not quite enough to make it. Menning's been carving his way away from Diaz since making that overtake. So I'm sure he wants to get this one done as soon as he can. As his fastest lap is almost a full second faster than Carpenter's. Looks to the inside for the bus stop. Gets late on the brakes and was going to be ahead before the first apex. Well done.
Matt Lehman actually goes yellow coming out of the bus stop.
Oh no,
as he's
loose.
Oh man, he's got his nose to the guardrail.
Good
With
job
nobody
to
on
wait
track
for the
behind, yeah, he's able to back up onto the road and continue on.
But what a scary spot to come up on a stopped car.
Oh yeah. Luckily, you're kind of swinging out wide at that point if you're on the racing line. Still, you don't want to see a car parked there.
To answer the question in chat, yes, Wilson did pit early.
Yep.
I believe it was lap 2.
Yeah, him and Ryan Yee pitted together on lap 2, trying out the undercut, as we see Majid get by Durant's. Actually, Durant's just went into the pits.
Oh, wait a minute, but where did Gomer go?
Is
Am
he
I
out?
blind? I don't see his name.
I think you're right. He didn't have a crash or a yellow that we saw, so potentially technical issues, something of the sort.
We are checking.
I don't think he died, at least not on track. We didn't get a yellow for him or anything. Matt Lehman goes into the pits.
Gomer has got back to us and says that his fatality tonight was caused by user error.
Oh boy. RIP to him. We'll see you next season.
Oh no, got caught looking in the rear view, hit the pit line at 120 kilometers an hour.
That'll disconnect you. Or rather, it'll disqualify you.
It certainly will.
That stinks.
That is unfortunate. That is an unfortunate way to end the last race of the season.
I'm gonna make a note to be extra careful there.
Yeah, no doubt. Because Louis makes the move on Danny Durant's.
Nice move
coming out of turn one. Durant's is going to look to have a run down the straight.
It's definitely going to be quicker going into the bus stop.
But can't get to the apex fast enough.
Yeah, he's forced to take that outside angle, and it's a tough one to make work.
Peter O'Brien spins. Oh, and he's Drew. Wow. Oh, that's not cool. Too wide with Mr. Sir here. It just gets on the power too early. Car snaps back on him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he almost, oh man. Straightens his car out, and I believe it was John Sparks was just able to avoid him there.
And he looks to jump into the pits now.
He's got Majid behind him going into the pits.
Menning still can't disperse with Dan Good. Just 4/10 behind.
Yeah, something very impressive here. Dan Cran taking the fight to Ryan Yee. And I know Ryan Yee is not thrilled at the moment, as he would love for his undercut to just be an easy hot lap session with 13 and a half seconds of clean air in front of Dan Cran. Oh my gosh. He's right on him. Looks to the inside going into the bus stop. Puts his car ahead for the time. Comes out and is ahead. Dan Cran, we salute you, sir. Valiant fight. Diego says he was stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours and that he loves it.
Diego, what do you like, live near me or something? My buddy lives 40 minutes away from home. He's been trying to drive home for the last 3.5 hours.
Ooh.
He is still not home. I told him he should have brought a sleeping bag to work.
It's only Tuesday, guys.
I know.
Diego's here to support Dan Cran, I heard. I heard whispers.
QEW patches. From, he's coming from Burlington to Grimsby. Simmons spins off in Sector 1.
He said here's hoping that O'Brien holds up Michi. Michi's still only 2 positions behind Dan Cran, but you're right, O'Brien is holding up Michi. Keeping Michi now is about 10 seconds behind Dan Cran. Menning might make a move on Dan Good here. He's following him up the hill. Doesn't opt to look for a move just yet, but he is extremely close to Good's rear end.
There's also a big pack building right here in the midfield. CJ Meeks and Nate Speck looking to go side by side right now. Conglomerate teammates.
CJ
Makes the move.
Yeah, makes
up
it
into
stick.
P16.
Aggressively takes that spot. You like a good fight. Menning getting even closer to Dan Good as they go up the mountain. He's gonna opt for the outside line here. Follows back inside to get more of the toe, and then Good actually gets back onto the racing line just in front. The chase continues. Fastest lap time right now is still Ryan Yee with the 44.1 that he set towards the beginning of the race. He's about 5/10ths off of that best time. And that goes to show that the track is not getting better. It's getting worse.
JD Daniel, Nate Speck going wheel to wheel through the bus stop. JD Daniel getting loose on the curve.
Oh,
Timothy Flaunger not able to avoid the spinning car, just catches the rear end of him.
yeah, he does. Unfortunate for both drivers.
Very. Dan Good gets overtaken by Carpenter and Menning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, both of them. Dan Good must have made a mistake. Fell off.
Got the replay playing in the picture-in-picture here. Menning goes to the inside. Little bump of the doors, and he gets loose on the exit, and he's just going to lose the second position.
Yeah,
Flashes the lights, not too happy about that, but Rubbin's racing. They were both at the apex very, very evenly, I'd say.
they both survived.
Just kind of bumped doors, and sometimes not everybody comes out on top.
Exactly right. When you're the car on the outside,
You're always at the disadvantage. You can't turn in
Exactly.
the way you want to. Brendan Chan looking to make a move on Matt Lehman, 3/10ths back for 22nd.
I mentioned earlier that if Dan Cran could keep the gap between him and Michi about 10 seconds, there's a good chance that when all is said and done, after every driver is pit, there might be enough drivers between them for Dan Cran to overtake Michi in the standings. That's just a guesstimate. But with that said,
10.5 seconds right now.
Exactly. It's going to be close. We might be in for a nail biter here at the end. Apologies for the buffer circle on the picture-in-picture.
Ah, it adds character. Tells you where to look. Right in the
Yeah.
middle for all the action.
Yeah, exactly. It's a crosshair. But we did try to restart that service, and whatever's causing it won't stop.
I see somebody asking for the fastest lap time in the race is a 1:44.115, held by Ryan E, currently in 10th place. Fosley has retired from the race.
He's in chat. He's hanging out with us.
Yep. Just noticed that a little bit late. Brendan Chan gets the move done on Matt Lehman. Looks like Lehman made a mistake there. He's already 2 seconds behind.
We saw Lehman have a couple off-track moments earlier. There's a good chance he might be racing with damage.
Lehman got overtaken by a controller washed. Interesting.
Let's be nice, huh? Let's be nice.
Play nice, boys. Also, will do. I'll make sure I use the correct setup tomorrow. Thank you again for the assistance.
It's a good thing he told you that. He reminded you, right?
Oh, for sure. Can't be having that stuff. JD Daniel just hanging out in the pits right now. I'm not sure what's going on there.
A little extra insight here. Ryan Yee currently holds a 44.7 as his last lap, which is the fastest lap on track at the moment. Last lap, rather.
Peter O'Brien, 44.5.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, wait, nope, that's 45.6.
Peter O'Brien.
The Audi still has pace.
Yeah, that 44.5's quick. Okay, so Peter O'Brien is currently lapping the quickest. Ryan Yee just behind him. Dan Cran's also moving extremely quick right now. He came here with a mission. He knows that he has an opportunity here, and he's looking to fulfill that. CJ Meek's getting really close to Durant's here.
Yeah, Dan can definitely tell he's got some race pace here tonight. He spent a good amount of time right on the back of Ryan Yee. And even though he's fallen off, it's slowly. So as long as he keeps his head down, yeah, I fully agree. There should be a good amount of cards between him and Mert tonight. He smells blood in the water. It's about executing.
You're exactly right. I'm excited to see how it all unfolds.
As am I. while we watch the only battle on track in the main cam, gonna put the picture-in-picture on our leader. Put a little caster curse on him. Ooh. Spice things up at the front of the field. Maybe. Maybe not. But either way, show off that really cool livery on the Audi. The wave theme. Really nice touch.
Right. I will say, the time in pit's about 38 seconds. Do you want to take a guess as to how far behind the leader, Ryan Yee, is at the moment?
I'm gonna let the chat take some guesses.
Let's hear your best guess. Time lost during a pit stop is about 38 to 39 seconds. How far behind the leader is Ryan Yee? It's 39 seconds, guys.
He is right there. Comfortably between Mercer and Mr. Sir.
Yep. He's got about 5 seconds of clean air in front of him. If he takes advantage of that to push, he might make this undercut count. Definitely going to be updating you on how he's lapping versus Mercer. At the moment, he's lapping about 0.3 quicker than Mercer.
That's enough just to slowly chip at that lead.
CJ Meeks has resumed his challenge on a Durance. Getting close to the Audi again.
A lot of invalid time showing up on the board. I wonder if track limits are going to start coming into play in the late parts of this race.
CJ Meeks kissed the wall there.
Looks like they're coming into play already. The walls are a very firm penalty for track limits.
It's a penalty. I think you're right, Patches. I don't think Dan would want to lose time defending O'Brien at all. Though at the moment he's 6 seconds behind and he's not lapping quicker. Oh, sorry about that. Not Patches. Diego. Reading's hard. Reading a lot of things all at once.
Reading's overrated. Drive cars on the internet with your friends. It's more fun.
Is it?
I don't know, are you questioning it?
No, not at all. I enjoy it.
This guy likes reading books more than he does sim racing.
I haven't read a book in 15 years.
Guy's gonna start BRA, Book Reading Alliance.
That's probably already a thing somewhere in the world.
I would not doubt it. Don't get me wrong, when I find a good book, it's hard to get me to put the book down. But it's also very hard for me to find a good book.
I've got a lot of good books in my house. If only I could find the time to read them.
Yeah, that too. Anybody know how to add more hours to their clock?
That'd be nice.
Give me like 8 more hours.
Currently the action on track is Dan Good, following Austin Carpenter pretty close for P7. And CJ Meeks chasing down Durant, still on your screen. He does have Nate Specht catching up to them very slowly. Might see some more conglomerate member action again.
I wonder if that's Nate picking up the pace, or if CJ is starting to get held up a little bit.
He's Diego. Diego says he does read. My teammates in the chat, Andrew Wilson, said it's hard to read and drive, but he's getting better at it. That explains a lot, Andrew. Just kidding.
Getting frisky out here.
It might get frisky. Let's get a cute little angle going. Get some excitement in our lives.
How do we do that?
We watch from CJ Meek's point of view as Durant's gets a little sideways in the bus stop. That slide was almost deadly.
Any slide at this stage could be deadly. I wouldn't be surprised if drivers are feeling the pain of tire wear.
By the way, Peter O'Brien and Jeremy Mercer actually in the lead still, are both obviously still in position to take the team championship. It doesn't look like they're going to be challenged unless something drastic would have to change.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan E may be up there in terms of where he could stand at the end of the pit stops, but his teammate...
His teammate crashed out earlier and is gone, yeah. So he would need to effectively finish like 60 points ahead of Mercer and O'Brien combined, and
that's a lot of
it's a long shot.
Math.
Yeah, true. You're right, Diego. Mercer and O'Brien absolutely killed it all season. Both of them very consistently showing why that Audi is as good as it is and putting it very near the top in every race, just about.
Yeah, there was lots of people who scoffed at the boards showing that the Audi was technically the best car this BOP, but these guys have shown that it's certainly capable.
You're right. I don't think anybody would doubt it now, to be honest.
I mean, it's always been a very difficult car to drive, but typically that's what it takes to find the pace. You have to drive the car at the knife's edge.
And we see as Meeks falls back from Durant's a little bit. Nate Specht creeping up in his rear view up top. Will he look to make a move? Oh, CJ Meeks elects to pull over and let his fellow conglomerate teammate through.
I wonder if there was any comms there. I know Champion Motorsports is a fan of being in the race with other teams that are within the conglomerate, so could have been a little, yeah, I just don't have the pace, go ahead.
Yeah, that's almost definitely what it was. And we do have the insider information to know that is the case. Oh, but Nate gets a little sideways, a little squirrely coming out of the bus stop, but saves it. I wonder if Meeks had to check up there for him.
Quite possibly. Sometimes that's like getting let through on the next tee box. Now you're under the pressure of being skilled.
I was just gonna say he's crumbling under the pressure of proving that letting him through was the right decision.
Yeah.
He was very far up towards the beginning of this race before he, I believe, had a little bit of an incident. Or maybe that was during quali. My memory is like that of a goldfish these days.
Hey,
so.
that's my line.
Is it infectious? Is that what's happening?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Don't ask your doctor.
Meek's still only about 0.6 behind Nate Specht for the moment, as Parker Quigg is catching up to him. "15 minutes left of SRA Season 8.
What a season it's been.
What a season indeed. I will always remember the show that O'Brien and Mercer and Ryan Yee and Ed Kerstetter and Mert Michi and Dan Cran and many, many others all put on for us this season. Looking forward to another one.
Yeah, even though the action isn't non-stop throughout these races, just to see the lap times these guys can put down for an hour straight, the just flat-out consistency of comfort it seems that they have throughout races that all of us are screaming about how difficult they're going to be is worth the price of admission. Which, funny enough, is free.
Dan Good gets a stop-go 30. Looks like he had some pit stop troubles.
Possibly too hot on the entry.
Very likely. It's easy to do this on this track.
Oh, definitely.
By the way, Ryan Yee's last lap was a 44.5. Jeremy Mercer's last lap was a 44.8. So he's just beating him in terms of how they're lapping.
Yeah, just inched underneath the 38-second gap mark. So,
we'll see how that goes. Jeremy Mercer's definitely under pressure here to nail his pit stop, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's if he's got any any sort of sideline help, they're telling him, dude, you have to be on the money from here to the checker flag.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot afford the slightest mistake.
Michael Menning is closing in on the back of Jeff Spangler. There are a couple little trains forming on track now. None of them full of too much racing, but they exist.
Yeah, a couple conga lines. Everyone just wanted to hang out a little bit since they've been lonely for most of the race. Sometimes it's just nice to have to, or I should say, to be able to turn off the brain a little bit and just follow the car ahead and not have to think about where you are, think about what's next, what's coming, where the apex is, have to chase some form of marker ahead.
Michael Menning following very close through turn 1. He's going to go up the mountain just behind Spangler. I think he's almost definitely going to have a chance here to make something happen towards the bus stop. Although at the same time, it kind of looks like that McLaren walked away from him a little bit. Wonder if there's some traction issues or what, because that Lambo should have an advantage as he tucks it on the inside going around the long sweeping right-hander. Tucks it around the outside there and into the grass, smacks the wall. It looks like he's going to be lucky enough to not pick up too much damage, but...
the walls here are very, very firm. That's
Yeah.
gotta be at least 30 seconds of damage right there. It seemed like the car wanted to rotate for him. He stayed on the throttle and it just started to understeer away into the wall.
He's still able to point the car forward at least. There's only 9 minutes left, so how much time can he hold on to here as he rounds it out? He hasn't pit, but I doubt he wants to repair that damage. He's probably still going to wait till the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, even if you come out in last, with the number of drivers that are left, it's still a pretty decent amount of points. So anything is good for the small battles, good for the drop races.
Faz has some setup and race tips for you in the chat, Josh. I'm jealous. I don't see anything for me in there.
Unfortunately, my phone shut itself off to do a software update, so I've lost my ability to read the chat.
Well, he says to add 1 rear height for your setup. Nobody copy that. Those are trade secrets. Diego, man. I'm already dead. Stop.
I'm assuming that's for the race setup, Foz.
How much garlic for the wheels?
250. Dan Durant's and Nate Speck going wheel to wheel. Down towards the bus stop. Nate Speck gonna stay ahead. Danny Durant's now wheel to wheel with CJ Meeks. CJ Meeks tries to go around the outside. They bump doors, and Durant's is gonna spin off into the wall.
Yeah, Durant spins and bounces off the wall.
Meeks now being challenged by Brooker Quigg, And it's all starting to pop off here inside the last 10 minutes.
Up a little higher, bringing up the rear of the guys who have not pit yet. Michael Menning is still fast. He's still challenging Spangler despite picking up that damage that we saw earlier.
Ooh, it looks like he might have a run at the inside here on turn 2. He's gonna force Spangler to compromise his line, but Spangler's gonna have the inside, and the marbles at this stage is not gonna do you any good.
Still really close coming into the bus stop, but he's just gonna follow him in. Gonna hope for a superior exit and maybe an ability to challenge here, but still just tucked in there. Looks to the inside, but then backs out of it. I think he's trying to intimidate him. He sticks way closer to the inside there. Doesn't want to get anywhere near that wall that he kissed. Looks like he has better traction.
Getting a way better exit there.
Oh yeah. Still not going to be enough though, although no, he's just trying to, he's continuing his intimidation tactics.
Causing a kerfuffle in the mirrors.
Ryan Yee now 37 seconds behind the leader. Putting a lot of pressure on Jeremy Mercer to nail his pit stop. Although even if he does, you know. Menning has it up the inside, but doesn't brake late enough. Isn't able to outbrake that McLaren into turn 1. He's gonna tuck in behind again as he follows him up the mountain.
Just behind them, Ryan Yee still very closely following Carpenter.
Yep,
Just
he
3
did
tenths
catch up
back.
to him, and I bet he wants to get by because, oh boy, we see Menning slide and go into the grass through the bus stop. Takes a big old frog jump. Gets very unsettled into the sweeping right-hander, but is able to keep his car straight, though he does lose some time. And now Carpenter, just behind him, wants to... Is that Carpenter behind him?
No.
No.
No, that's
That-
Spangler.
What?
Huh?
So
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
No, that is not him. That's... Who is that?
That's Dan Good.
Why?
I believe
Where
that's Spangler's
is he?
teammate. He's in P20, so he just unlapped himself there.
Which, I mean, technically you're allowed to do. So let's see what happens within the next lap.
Or he might not have been lapped. It might just because Menning hasn't pit yet. That's what it is. That was a confusing moment. By the
Well,
way,
it would be
Travis
a lap
Robinson
down to
goes
be
into
that
the
much
pit.
of a position difference.
I don't know. Jeremy Mercer driving a heck of a race. His last lap was a 44.6. Ryan Yee's last lap was a 45.6. Ryan Yee just got past Austin Carpenter, so he definitely is not going to be happy about catching that traffic. I wouldn't if I was him, because the gap to the leader needs to be 38 seconds or less, and it looks like since the last time we checked in, which was only like 3 minutes ago, he's lost 2 seconds. He's now 39 seconds behind Mercer. His undercut came so freaking close, but just like Indy, right at the last moment he caught some traffic, and it looks like he might lose just enough time because of it. We'll see. As Jeremy Mercer goes into the pits. We'll check in with that in about 30 seconds. See where he comes out. Meantime, Dan Cran's trying to challenge Mr. Sir for P7. Peter O'Brien's trying to challenge Dan Cran just behind them. John Sparks goes into the pits. Jeremy Mercer's car drops. He passes the pit limiter sign and guns it. Is he going to come out ahead of Ryan Yee?
Ryan Yee is your picture-in-picture. It's not by much, but he is ahead.
He gets ahead of Ryan Yee by about 3 seconds. Yeah, like we said, there at the end of the race, Ryan Yee picked up traffic, and unfortunately for him, the undercut fails again at the last minute. Jeremy Mercer is 3 seconds ahead.
Window is
Travis
now
Robinson comes out in P7. Peter O'Brien is sitting in P5. So Jeremy Mercer and Peter O'Brien will almost definitely pick up that team championship. Another thing, it doesn't look like there were enough drivers on track for Dan Cran tonight. Because even though he has put on an absolutely masterful performance here tonight and will take the silver win for the race, or it looks like he will. There aren't enough. Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Spangler gets nailed. Spins to the center of the track.
Spangler and Speck come together in turn 7, and they both drift. Nate Speck makes it through, but Spangler just spins around. I thought they were both out there late in the race.
The leader has finished the race.
Yeah.
Dan
Jeremy
Cran.
Mercer takes the win. Ryan Yee follows him up in P2. Mr. Sir following behind him is Dan Cran for P4 and a silver win. Peter O'Brien in P5. Those guys, him and Jeremy Mercer, definitely taking the team championship. Sparks, followed by Robinson, then Michi in P8. Michi
Michael Menon going
looking...
for the drag race right at the line. Does he beat Michael Louis? No.
Doesn't look like it.
He does not.
Gets super close, and it was a photo finish, but Louis keeps the spot. Spangler, Flomger, Cross. Then you've got Diaz, Rust, Good, Chan, Simmons, Lehman, and Daniel. And so...
400ths of a second was that photo finish.
That's pretty crazy. Mert Michi in P8, only 4 spots, 5 spots, 4 spots behind Dan Cran in P4. Dan Cran drove his heart out, but despite the gap of like 20 seconds almost, I don't think there's going to be enough of a points difference for him to overtake him.
Just awaiting the server to roll over so that the points are allocated and all the math is done for us.
We will let all of you know the final standings that we don't know yet soon as the math is done for us. But I do say, Josh, heck of a race, eh, my man?
Yeah, what a way to end off the season.
Definitely. One of my favorites this season, for sure.
It is most definitely up there. But a night race is always a fun way to end things off. Night Wet Silverstone a couple seasons ago was an absolute hoot. And Night Watkins seems to be proving just the same.
Chat went crazy there at the end. Blessings for the Cran Man.
GP3, what did I miss? Everything.
Well, just season
Sorry,
8.
buddy. I mean, stick around. Podium interviews will be happening shortly.
They will. You haven't missed everything. The best part is yet to come. All right, it looks like they've updated. See, Kerstetter drops Watkins. Glen still stays in P1. Your championship winner for D1 Gold is indeed Ed Kerstetter. Congratulations to him. Ryan Yee just 17 points behind Ed. Takes silver for the championship. And Jeremy Mercer takes third. Then for the silvers,
Looks like Mert Michi did hold on.
Mert Michi, I can confirm, kept his spot. Congratulations are in order there, of course. Mert Michi kept the silver win, and he is the silver champion for D1. He stayed ahead of Dan Cran after that race by 19 points. They were 19 points apart.
That is close.
Patches says riot in the streets.
We have our race winner available for an interview.
Let's see him. Jeremy Mercer, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on that race win.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Not just a race win, though. You and your teammate O'Brien are team championship winners.
Yeah, thanks. It obviously, to get a team champ win, you need a teammate who shows up and is fast, and Peter, of course, is. He had missed 2 races, but we were still able to clinch the team champ through consistency. So that's really good.
Yeah, you guys were both awesome. Let's talk about the race win first, and then we'll grab Peter in here for a little duo interview for the team championship winners. How do you feel about that race? Did you feel under pressure at all from Ryan Yee's undercut?
Yeah, I was keenly aware that he could be very fast, and I knew that I wasn't necessarily faster than him, so I was putting in the best laps I could.
Yep.
It was a little different than Indy, where I knew my pace was kind of slow, so I knew I wanted to cover him off. This time I was more confident in my pace, and I wasn't holding up my teammates, so I decided to stay out.
Yeah, you definitely made the right choice. From the booth, it looked like Ryan Yee was just barely edging you in terms of the lap times, and it looked like his undercut was going to work. But just like Indy, he caught up to some traffic at the end, and it went from looking like a toss-up who was going to come out in front to you clearly being able to. And I think you came out with about 3 seconds ahead, and strategy worked wonders for you once again. Congratulations for the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's get your teammate in here. And Peter O'Brien, welcome into the booth as well. You and Jeremy Mercer are team champions. How you feeling?
Yeah. I'm feeling great. Other than my questionable driving today, all I had to do was not completely die, and I achieved that goal. So now I have forced Mr. Mercer to need to drink out of a shoe yet again.
Jeremy, you excited for that chewy?
Not particularly.
We're all excited to see it. Congratulations, guys. I know me and Josh, during that race, even we pointed out that you guys were completely deserving of this championship win. Both of you, it feels like every race, put that Audi very close to the front every single week. And kind of showed that it was the car that belonged up there, and definitely did not put it to shame. So once again, congrats for that championship win.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Anyone you guys want to shout out?
Jeremy, you want to go first, or should I?
Sure, I can go. Obviously, thanks to Tier Sim Racing, run by Javier. He, I guess, organized it and is able to run a good team that also, I guess, introduces us to other endurance races and things we can do, which is really good. You want to go?
Yeah, sure. So I want to add on to that. Also with the tier, I want to thank every single one of our teammates, even the ones that decided to just not show up for this season. Also want to big shout out to Diego for doubting the Audi at every possible opportunity. Just want to show you that the Audi is top tier. Just get good, drive it better.
Oh yeah, that was part of the reason for picking this car.
Yep, that was part of the reason why we did that.
You guys proved the haters wrong. And what a car choice it was, because maybe some struggles towards the beginning of this season, but man, it looked fast at the end.
Oh, yeah. Towards the end of the season, it definitely had some strong tracks. I would say the only track that I was here for where it was poor was probably Misano, and it was not so much it being poor, it was just other cars were better.
Yeah. Zandvoort was rough, and I had a hard time at Nürburgring, but Peter was faster than me, so.
What can I say? The Audi's my little baby, and here I am.
Well, once again, guys, huge congratulations from me and Josh and everybody else watching, everybody else at SRA. You guys are team champions, and we'll look forward to seeing you next season too.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys.
You too, guys.
See ya.
All right. From that, I want to see if we can get our championship winner for D1 Gold in here. Not seeing him. I know he had an issue in that race and it ended up leaving, which doesn't matter because he still very obviously had it in the bag. I've reached out to him, and we should see him here in a moment. There he is. Got to do this thing where I move him up a couple rooms. And there you are, Ed. Welcome into the booth. I had to do that little thing again where I moved you through like 8 chat rooms to get you here. But man, what a championship drive was that. Congratulations from me and Josh. Everybody else, how you feeling?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I had to do it for my iPad. No, thanks a lot. It was, I'll tell you what, my luck ran out at the right time.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I don't know if you did the math beforehand, but we did a little math before the race, and it looked like you had it in the bag no matter what.
Yeah, I actually, like during Indy, I kind of knew what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get, I racing Mercer, I think, at the end there for third, and I knew if I got third, regardless of what Ryan did, I would have clinched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he got held up on traffic, came out second, so that gave me a little bit more leeway. So today's race was, I didn't want to just not show up, but I had an issue with, I loaded the wrong setup. I had 20 liters of fuel, and then me and I think Stallworth got together in the bus stop. But yeah, like I said, luck ran out last race, and luckily it was able to be a drop.
Yeah, you pulled everything out. We were talking about how I know you joined the quali session late, so we were like, Ed might not, he might just not show up because he knows he has it. But we were happy to see you show up, and I think you put in like it was like P12 or P15 or something like that in quali, and then obviously you were driving pretty well up until you weren't. But none of that matters. You're the champion.
Yeah, feels good. Long season. I want to say too, congrats to Mercer and O'Brien for the winning the team championship there. And I know Ryan put together a massive season. I know he had an extra DNS, did not start, but gave me a little bit more buffer room. So in the middle of the season, I kind of I didn't have to take risks. I knew if I just finished consistent and didn't have a bad race, that I had a pretty good chance of putting it together.
Yeah, man, you did it. Let's see, are you going to be running the number 1 next season?
Yeah, it'll be a partial season probably. Doing a family vacation in December, so we're missing like two races. But yeah, definitely be back for next season.
And man, the curse of number 1 strikes again, just like Lehman this season.
yeah. It's only 8 weeks, but I mean, these guys are so skilled. Like, I mean, you look at qualifying, and what was it, Donington, when we were, I think it was like 7/100ths of a second, or 7/1000ths. It was something crazy like that. Like usually 2 or 3 tenths will drop you like 15 places. This place is so competitive.
Oh yeah,
and it was such a fun season. And I also want to thank you guys. Broadcasting. After every race, I go back probably during the next few days and just watch the race. And you guys do such a good job and broadcasting this for all of us and taking time out of your days and taking some practice time out. So really appreciate you guys putting on these broadcasts.
Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate that a ton, more than you know. I know Josh definitely appreciates it too, right?
Oh, definitely. It's a lot of fun to be here, but it definitely does take a bit of effort. So it's nice to know that it's enjoyed.
Yeah, you guys do a fantastic job.
We're very happy to be here for you guys. I know I appreciate people being there for me in the same spot. So I'm very happy to do it, and I'm very happy to make others happy. But this is about you, man. Any idea what you might be driving next season?
I played around with the Lambo a little bit. The braking's weird on it. And I've only really even driven the Porsche or mid-engine. So I don't know. I'll play around with it a little bit during the short off season and see. You guys got any suggestions?
BMW, yep.
All right, I have actually driven that a few times. Maybe I'll try to pick that up again. But yeah, we'll see.
I think I will also be spending what few races I have in that car, if nothing changes at least.
Nice. Just hopefully roll of the dice for the tracks comes back favorable.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that'll do it. Once again, congrats. Huge victory. And enjoy it. We're looking forward to that Chewy video.
Yeah, I've heard. I caught the stream last season a little bit, and it was Lehman, I think, right, who did the Chewy last year, or that's the one I caught. And I gotta. Is there rules around it? Do I have to use the shoe that I race in? I'm not clear on the specifics.
I think you can use any shoe.
Yeah, they want you to use any shoe.
All right, cool. I gotta pick a good one then.
Right. You have plenty of options, and yeah, once again, happy to see it. Congrats on the win. You deserved it. And enjoy it.
Will do.
That's the D1 championship winner, Ed Kerstetter, everyone. Big round of applause. Woo! I wanted to see if we could speak with Mert. Nice. Good timing. I don't see Mert. So maybe we go to our race finishers.
They have only been sitting there waiting like
Exactly.
15 minutes.
Let's talk to Ryan. Ryan Yee, welcome to the booth. Congrats
Hello.
on P2 tonight. We were watching and holding our breath with anticipation at what that undercut might have had in store for us, but it looks like you caught traffic right at the end again. What do you think?
Yep. I had too many laps behind traffic and one too many mistakes, and that would have been it. But it is what it is. I didn't lose anything in the standings because of it, so can't really be upset.
Well, Ryan, you came within 7 points of Ed Kerstetter in the end.
17.
Was
isn't
it 17? Maybe
Yeah.
I did the math wrong.
631 to 614.
Oh, you're right. It was 17. Well, you came within 17 points at the end.
Yeah.
If you had another race.
Yeah, those 20 points are separated by 4 seconds in the last 2 races, so
Yeah, I'm not shocked at all, but then again, that's D1, you know?
yeah.
You got, I think it was Ed just made a comment that in quali there were several races where like 2 tenths would drop you 10 spots.
Yeah, the field was like really packed for the season, so it was really nice racing.
Yeah, you guys kept it awesome and interesting. Congrats on the silver win tonight and the silver in the championship. You definitely earned it.
Thank you.
And you gave Ed a run for his money and kept it very entertaining almost to the end for us to watch. So thank you for that.
Yep, a big shout out to you guys too for doing this every week.
We are both thrilled to do it. I know, like I was just saying, I really appreciate it being done for us in the D2 race. So I'm more than happy to show up and put the effort in to put this on for you guys. And it makes me happy to know that people are enjoying it. But we enjoy you, man. And I'm looking forward to more of it. You coming back next season?
Probably not. I wasn't even supposed to be in this season, right? I was supposed to be on hiatus.
Yeah, I know you got pulled in by your teammate.
Mm-hmm.
We were glad to have you. Very glad to watch you. I'm sure I will probably in the future, and I can't wait till that day is. But anyways, congratulations again tonight. Enjoy it as best you can, and good luck in your next endeavor.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, man. All right. Do you know, I believe Mr. Sir came in third tonight, right? Mr. Sir, welcome into the broadcast booth. Fancy seeing you here. How you feeling for the P3 tonight?
I'm kind of wondering why I am here, but yeah, managed to pull out a P3 at probably one of the toughest tracks for me, just because I don't have a lot of laps on it. But yeah, happy to pull it out, and happy to be on the podium once again. It's been quite a while.
Well, congratulations on the P3. Not only is it a tough track for you, I'm sure, but it's a tough track for the McLaren. Not one that I'm excited to do myself tomorrow. Do you have any tips for me?
Yeah, don't die is the biggest one, and watch the gap. Watch the gap to the first pitters. I was telling Ryan that, I saw him stuck in 10th all night, and once he made the move into 9th, I knew it was over. The gap just disintegrated, and yeah, basically had to make the decision to come in, hopefully catch the train. But unfortunately, that train had left the station and was about 6 seconds up the road. So, yeah, still finished on the podium, and that's what's most important.
Still a really awesome finish for you, dude. I couldn't be any more happy for you. You belonged on the podium tonight with the pace you put on and also your awesome quali. But even more so than those things, your lap 1. You want to walk us through what the heck happened there? Because it was hard to even keep up.
I haven't even watched it back. It's probably one of the best starts I've had out of all sim racing. Probably over exaggerating that just because, not often do you say, hey, I passed Ryan Yee in a race and I passed him on the start of lap 1. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even watched it back, like I said. Just got an excellent start, made the right moves, didn't oversend it where I needed to, and kept the car on the gray bits, and kept out of all the trouble.
Yep, you did indeed, and you took home P3 rather. Was it 2 spots you overtook in that lap 1 hustle and bustle?
I believe so. Yeah, I got Ryan, and forgive me, I can't remember who was in
Peter O'Brien.
second. Yeah, can't believe I pulled that much on those 2 guys, because everyone knows they're at the top, and they're at the top for a reason. Yeah, I can't even explain it. Like I said, it's really a big blur. I'll have to look back and try to emulate that for race starts in the next season.
Heck yeah, man. Well, it was awesome to watch. Congrats on P3, and enjoy it tonight, okay?
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
One more quick interview, and then I promise I'll let y'all go. We've got Mert Michi waiting for us in Race Chat 1. I gotta pull him up here. Mert, welcome to the broadcast booth, and congratulations on the Silver Championship. How you feeling tonight?
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I'm feeling great. Like I really did not expect to win after coming from D2 this season. That was a shock for me as well. Not sure where the pass came, but very happy with it, regardless.
Heck yeah, man. Hard work will bring you there. I'm sure it wasn't anything else. And obviously, huge congratulations from us and everybody else. How you feeling about being a champion?
I don't think it's sank in fully yet. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a better idea. But yeah, like it's an honor. Yeah, as I said, like I really did not expect to win. I was worried I was gonna go back to D2, to be honest. So
Wow.
it was a 180 from my preseason expectations.
Not even close, man. You took that silver win. You had a pretty big gap there towards the end and kept it, and you definitely deserved it. I know tonight the race might have had you sweating a little bit, because I know Dan Cran was knocking on that door. Walk us through what you were thinking during that race.
I mean, yeah, Dan was way too fast. I was pretty close with him in the practice yesterday. So I thought I had a good chance, but like after I got out of pits, I was, I think, 3 seconds behind him. And then that became like 15 seconds by the end. I was a little worried, but I knew I had to get just P9 to guarantee the championship, and it looked like it was possible. So towards the end, I just tried to keep it on the road, not make any mistakes, and just secure the victory.
Yeah, and that you did. Once again, from us, congrats on being the Season 8 D1 Silver Champion. You looking forward to the Shui video? I know we are.
Yeah, I am as well. We'll see what I come up with.
Heck yeah, man. We can't wait to see what it is. Well, we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you again. Congrats on the championship, and enjoy it tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for commentating for the entire season. I really enjoyed watching the replays. couldn't watch it, obviously, the regular one, but replays was great.
Heck yeah, man. Enjoy it. And before you go, if there's anything or anyone you want to shout out, go ahead.
I mean, definitely Dan Cran. He kept me on my toes this entire season. He had amazing pace. I mean, clearly shown tonight. Yeah, it was great.
You're an excellent competitor. Once again, congrats. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
See ya. All right, Josh. With that, Season 8 Division 1 Championship comes to an end. Once again, huge congrats to the winners. I think I'll go ahead and flip the standings on so you can see them. Ed Kerstetter did take P1, of course. Ryan Yee followed him up. Jeremy Mercer took third. These haven't updated yet, but they're still correct. As are these, at least the number 1 spot is correct. TSE, Drive Audi, Vroom, Jeremy Mercer, and Peter O'Brien. Congrats to them. That's going to be it for us tonight. Anything else you want to add, Josh?
Not really. It's been a good season, and while we're tossing them around, thank you to everybody who's come out and watched this season. It's been a blast. Those who interact in chat, thank you for helping us fill the blank voids in the races sometimes. And even just to the casual fans, thanks for tuning in, tossing a like, tossing a follow, whatever you did, and showing us some love.
I'll piggyback off of that as well. Thank you to all of the viewers out there and giving us something to do and making sure there's something for everybody to watch for these drivers. I'm glad to have it, and I'm sure they are too. Thanks to all the competitors. I'm really happy and blessed to be a part of this league. Thanks to all the conglomerates out there, Tier and TSE and Madhouse and Champion Motorsports, of course, my home. And thanks to the viewers for watching, and we'll see you next season. Goodbye.
It has been the longest off-season of SRA. The rust has been wiped off and the cars are revved up and ready to go. Welcome to SRA.
We're off and away for SRA.